Good morning, everybody. It's Bob Phibbs, the retail doctor. That was my big announcer voice for you. Hey, I've missed you all. Where are you? So do me a favor and type in where you're joining me from in the world. We are broadcasting this live across many different platforms, and I read all of your comments. So always know that I appreciate you being here. I used to do this for 4 or 5 years every single Sunday until about a couple of months ago. And I just said, I got to take Sundays off unless I'm traveling. And today I am in St. Charles, Missouri. I'm speaking this afternoon for 2 hours on how to sell products. So I figured, what the heck? Let's see if the peeps are back. And it looks like Tristan was first back. Thank you, Tristan. Hey, John, I'm answering your question today. Glad you're there. Roger, I'm answering your question today as well. So the rest of you, type in where you're joining me in from so that I know all of that. Again, I just appreciate the fact that you are joining me. And, we have made it through an awful lot. And the moment you start feeling down, just remember, where were you a year ago today? So there you go. I am thrilled to be back on the road. I refuse to get into panic mode and fear mode, but believe me, it is out there from, I don't care if you're on the left or the right, but it all comes down to how it affects us as operators, as managers, as salespeople, as brands. And so just make sure you remember, if nothing else, if you quickly decide to tune out me and go watch kitten videos instead, we are about as happy as we make our minds up to be. And you don't get a break. You have to use your choice muscle. And I thought I would start off today by telling you a little bit about me. Some of you may know this story, some of you may not. But I used to be in the 80s. I was in the Western wear business. I'd got my degree, and I realized that I didn't want to do what I had gone to college and spent an awful lot of time and money doing. It wasn't going to pay the bills the way I wanted to live the life I wanted. And it was a very interesting time because Western wear was going upscale. Suddenly, you had TV shows like Dallas, Dynasty. You had all kinds of clubs opening up where people would go and do line dancing, and people wanted to get out and then wanted to dress to impress. And it was a great time for me. I bought my first house when I was 24, and the commissions and the bonuses were amazing. And then Garth Brooks comes in the 90s, and everybody's like, even better. And all kinds of brands, whether it was Tony Lama or Wrangler, all went upscale because people had to go out and get something new every Friday night, and they didn't want to be seen in the same things that they had been before. So everything is going well, and I get promoted to the number one mall. By the way, these stores started off, they were in like little strip. When I joined them, they had 6 stores. They were like in little off-price, cheap strip centers. And the whole store design package was just throw some Pecky cedar up on the walls and some rounders, and that's it. And I got to go to the South Coast Plaza store, which was designed by the same people that came up with the new Disney stores at the time. It was amazing. And I bought all of my sales training with me. So I went through and I spent about 6 months to work with the crew and change things. And then Garth showed up at a local concert in Orange County, and he wore a ball cap and tennis shoes. And that week, the week after, People magazine did a whole spread on his style and how it had changed into this more casual look. And it was like overnight, we lost about a third of our traffic. People didn't, were affected by that. They didn't have to go and buy something new. The woman didn't have to buy a new beaded leather jacket, which was $500 to $1,000. And the guys didn't have to buy a new $80 shirt. They could make do. And the reason I'm sharing that with you is because at that moment, our other stores started dropping off precipitously, and a lot of them didn't make it back. And yet for the next several years, mine kept going up, and in fact got the highest increase of sales at South Coast Plaza, where the owner came down to me, goes, "What the hell do you do down here? You're breaking numbers compared to everybody, whether it's Tiffany's or Nordstrom or any other 200 merchants." And I said, "It doesn't matter what I sell, it's how I sell it." And that's a whole other story, how I left that company, ended up being the retail doc. But the reason I'm sharing that is 2021 is looking an awful lot like 1997, because a lot of you are busier than you've ever been, and it has nothing to do with you. You are riding a tide of interest in photography, sewing, car, fixing up your car, all kinds of crafts and all kinds of things. It's not like you put a new $1 million push behind it. There's so much demand and so little supply that customers are eager to do it. But I can tell you, like with Garth, the day will come when suddenly you're not just, oh my gosh, you're back to normal. And then it's going to be, oh my gosh, what do we do now? And you'll have squandered this time to reinvent yourself, to really sell the merchandise because you didn't have to. You know, if you were a bike store in the last, 18 months, just get them out the door with something. That was it. Well, as that's going to start decreasing a bit and as supply ramps up, what are you going to do? And so this is my announcement to you that on August 25th, we are doing a fall sprint with Sales RX. And it's funny, I had a woman before I took my hiatus. This woman said, you just always seem to have an answer. It's always about Sales RX. It's like, yeah, it is the answer. What do you want to tell me? Because people who say I'm not making money, I have high burnout, I can't keep people, my team isn't holding people accountable, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. The answer always comes down to training. The answer always comes down to people. And that's why 83% of people who use Sales RX get a double-digit increase. So all you have to do is sign up for Sales RX, salesrx.com, and you'll get not only my fabulous sales training system, which will take you probably 4 months or more to navigate. But in the end, I'll also be giving you a $1,000 bonus of live training with me every week to make it even better. So I don't know what else I can say to you. At the end of the day, at 2021, 1997, I've lived through a lot of downturns. Believe me. I took one of my first stores I took was when Ronald Reagan, our president, got shot. I've been there with 9/11 when we had to we decided to keep the coffee houses open and ban all TV shows when I was CMO of a 155 unit coffee house. I've been through a lot of downturns. You all know my story about 2008. But at the end of it, if you don't prepare now, if you aren't putting the time into what am I going to do in the next 4 months, then future self is going to be going back to you and saying, what the hell were you thinking? It's about getting on Facebook and doing another QVC where we have this product, buy it from me, buy this, instead of really honing in on what makes a brick and mortar business unique. So there you go. You've been inspired. You've been slapped in the face. I don't know. Is that what you were looking for? Give me did you like that? Am I on track with you? Type it in the comments below. Good morning, Robin. Glad you're there from Southwest Florida. Carl from Greece. Glad you're there. Hey, Lisa in Hamilton, Canada. Does this make sense? Did you miss me? Is this the kind of stuff? Put it in there. Let me know that you are alive and listening. Let me know. Take a bite out of this. Don't just sit there and say, I'm watching the Bob Show. All right. And I have a lot of interesting questions today. So Julie, I don't see Julie here yet. Maybe that's Jerry. Julie might be there. Julie, that might be you. So she says, dare I even mention the word surcharges? I'm not sure I have a question here, except how could I have signed agreements that allowed them to increase some I thought would be 10%, but we had two that are at 40%. Sounds like gouging. We're in the gift business. Some of it's already in stock and priced on the floor in the backup area. So we'll bump up prices where we can. And if that doesn't take too many hours, we'll change the price tags. Unfortunately, sometimes shipments come in before the invoice, which has the new prices. Rant done. That's pretty funny, Julie. And yet not funny. So, it's very interesting in the old way of time immemorial. There's always that point of retailers trying to decide. There is the people who think like a customer. I'm only raising prices on my inventory when we get a price increase from the vendor. And then there's other people that we got a price increase from the vendor. We have to reprice all of our stock. And a lot of people always think, oh, you're just being miserly or something. But the reality is that when that stock leaves your hands, you're going to have to buy it again at a much higher rate. And so making up that difference on things like surcharges, that's really it. Now, the other thing that I think is just really important for all of you is you have to have a POS system with modern accountability, because frankly, being able to change it in the computer is a heck of a lot easier than trying to do something by hand. But it's just the way it's going to be for the next year. Just understand that's what's going to happen. And, if you are really super afraid of pricing, certainly check out an Amazon, a Walmart, and one of your local competitors and see where you fit in and see what the wiggle room is. But a lot of times we miss the fact that if you have it, listen to me, if you have it in store, they will pay for it. Yes, there will be some who might come in like, well, I saw it for, 5 cents. Well, great. I have it right here. Did you want to take it with you? And make sure that you make that point instead of getting into this back and forth about you're going to lower the price and that and that. It's like, I have it here. There's a cost to that. If you want it, it's here, but we're having a run on it, and we'd love for you to take it home with you today. And by the way, let me show you what also works well with that. Because when you're trained and you understand that, one, you darn well better be hungry. If you're watching me, you better be hungry. I'm not going to tell you like, hang in there, baby. It sucks to be you. I'm going to slap you upside the face and say, no, it's your fault. If you're uncomfortable, if you want more out of life, if you want to live the life you want, if you want to make more money, there's only one person to look at. That's you. You're the only one that changes it. So if you want to just go through and say, well, we'll see. Good. Well, then you're going to be crying the blues and you're going to be closed. I've missed being able to say these things to you. That's really what it comes down to. Or you'll limp along and tell me it's Amazon's fault, or there's a competitor that's carrying our line of greeting cards or whatever, because that's all distractions. Most of you don't want to change. At the end of the day, you really do just want to say, well, I tried. No, you don't get a chance for trying. You succeed. So get hungry enough, get mad at yourself and say, why the hell aren't I taking a vacation this year? Oh, I'm needed too much to store. And whose fault is that? And I'm going to talk about that in a minute. I think it's either Roger or somebody, but I'm going to be talking about that in a minute. That we make ourselves indispensable, and then we just tell ourselves that, if I leave, it's like put your hand in a bucket of water and pull it out, and the hole that's remaining is the amount of talent that can think when I'm not there. You're like, dude, seriously, that's not the way to look at it. You should be able to leave any damn time you want because you're the owner. And if you're the manager, it's second to that. You have to build systems in there. So with all of that to say, when we were getting around with pricing, that POS system, using your money now to get that up to speed, to understand dating and reports, and that can actually, a lot of them now tie directly into your manufacturer sites, so it can do all that updating pretty automatically. So I hope that helps, Julie. I did see you say that you're there, so that's it. All right. Roger says, and Roger, you're joining me live. I can't believe it. It's like amazing. I'm going to be opening another location soon. Is it better to keep all of the locations under one main Facebook profile? I'm thinking of creating a Facebook page for each since they'll have different product mixes. My main headquarters has 650 to 700 flavors of products, where the others will only have around 450. I want to try to avoid customer disappointments at the satellite spots. Thank you. Roger, 3 times the sites is 3 times the work and 3 times you trying to build enough people to follow you. I would say simply stay with one store. And if it gets too much, you could always then break it off. But Facebook really rewards having the number of users. For those of you who don't know the dynamics of Facebook or LinkedIn or the rest, figure 1% of your followers will give a damn about what you just posted. So I have 18,000 people who follow me on Facebook, and I think I have 400,000 on LinkedIn. And at any one time, only 1% of those people are going to do it. So then it's a numbers game, Roger. If you get little pieces, you're probably not going to get any momentum. So I hope that helps. Stephen, I know this is super late, but if you need some questions, I have 2. I used to follow just-in-time ordering. My best suppliers were only a day or 2 away. And now, of course, I order 2, 3, and 4 months supply to hedge against shortages. What's your inventory management advice to small retailers? First off, everybody's in the same boat. Your suppliers are in the same boat, and so is your competition. So take yourself off of feeling bad about that. But number 2 is that idea of having a full-featured POS system. Let it do the work and go through and be able to tell you with algorithms and all kinds of codes that I have no idea how they make it, but they can predict out this is what's happening with demand right now and what it will be in 2 or 3 months based on historical accuracy. Now, that's not something that's going to help you in a month, but in a year, and then as time goes by, that's going to be huge. So I'm a big believer in data is your friend. and it has to be easy enough that the machines do the work and then send them to you automatically. You don't really care about, I think when I was in the coffee house business, we used Aloha POS. And I think at one point, our programmer was saying, they can do 400 reports. I go, I don't give a damn if they can do more than 10 because no one will ever look at them. And that's kind of it. So make sure that's it. And just understand also that retailers, as things start pulling back, and I'm already hearing this in a couple of industries, as retailers are pulling back to normal, that means that some of the poorer players are not going to be able to pay their bills, and your suppliers probably are going to be able to start saying, you just put yourself on with your best vendors and say, hey, if somebody cancels or they can't pay it, let me have a look at it and maybe I can take it off your hands. But remember, when you want to have good vendor relationships, you have to be a bigger player to them. Nobody wants to have that problem child. I ordered 8 and they only sent 4, and I've sent 3 emails and I called my rep, and it's like, yeah, well, they have other people that's ordered 80 cases and all they got was 40 cases. Who do you think they're going to be more obliged to work with? Versus if you only ordered 8, you only got 4. Hey, I'm really thankful. I ordered 8, I only got 4. What other things can we work together of smaller ideas? But your goal is to be a partner with your suppliers. And I think in what I'm seeing in chat rooms and other places, people are railing on the brands and the supply chain. The reality is we're all in the same boat. So get over yourself. Don't be that problem child and look for those opportunities. I hope that helps. If any of this is making sense to you, if you're like anything I've said in the first 15 minutes, would you put a Y in the comments right now? Yes, yes, yes. That would be great. That would be great. So Stephen, the correct price is the highest price you can get where both of you, let's show that. The correct price is the highest price you can get where both you and the customer feel they get a fair deal. Yeah, well, I don't know that I go as far as my customers feeling they get a fair deal. If they get the product, what's a fair deal? I mean, I'm here in St. Charles, Missouri, where there's like nothing but a Cracker Barrel around me. So I paid $18 to have a salad delivered to me. Is that, do I get a fair deal on that? No, what I ended up getting was the product I wanted in the timeline I wanted. I'm happy. I'm thrilled to pay you $18 to bring my salad when I have no means of transportation and I've already had my fried chicken for the year. All right. Let's see. Jenny from My Garden Nursery in Washington State. That's great. You guys got a private chat going. I'm not going to go through all of that. Yeah, I love that, Donna. Of course, we've been changing pricing to get more margin, no more Keystone. You get what you need to make the money you need to keep the business open. That's the key to all of it. All right, so I have lots of yeses. So I guess you people want me to keep going. So I will keep going on. Hey, Carolyn, glad you're in Fredericksburg, Virginia. My mom grew up in Bridgewater, not too far away from you. So there you go. And Steve says, I was just elected the board of directors for a specialty retailer association. Good for you. We have members from small pop stores, not even mom, open a few days a week, to powerhouse stores open 7 days a week, selling millions of dollars. What do you recommend such an organization do to support its members and prepare for the new normal? Well, no one knows what the new normal is. It's one of those tragic words we're using, pivoting and new normal. And it's just what it is. It's like everybody wants to call it, oh, it's omni-channel, it's online, it's streaming, it's catalog, it's apps. It's like we call it shopping. That's what we call it, right? So we're in the normal. This is the new normal. The new normal is going to change. So why do we call it new and why do we call it normal? We're ready. So I think the number one thing is you have to look at developing your smaller retailers having like 3 tiers, your smaller retailers getting them to a certain level of competence. I think polling people is always a good idea. What would be most beneficial? But keep pushing for metrics, not vanities or one-offs. When I was in the coffee house business and we would do grand openings and I had a whole thing of how you market this for 2 months and I put it all out there, and invariably somebody'd say, well, I think we should do movie ads in movie theaters. You're like, yeah, don't do that. Well, where's the movie theater? Is it like open when you are? Well, no, we're closed. Like, no, don't do that. Or, oh, I think we're going to put a billboard by the freeway. It's like, is that near you? No, you're only one location. You're in a metro area that's going to do nothing. Well, I just want to do it. And even when I speak at local downtown associations, oh, well, just need bodies. We need people to come here. You just need our visitor and convention bureau just needs people to come here. Yeah, you can have an event. You can have a summer stroll every Friday night where we're giving out free food and the sidewalks are packed. And if you're not selling anything, if you haven't upped your customer service, if you haven't really expanded on the idea of what metrics look like, then I think you waste that time of everybody. Look, I think any retailer association should be driving sales. That's your number one thing. How do we drive sales? Greater customer service. Sales are actually just rolled out to the International Casual Furniture Association. I think we've done 9,000 or something lessons, and we are changing the experience for people who shop for casual furniture. That's a great marker, and that's something those retailers can now launch into their own marketplaces. As Steve said to me not a few weeks ago, you took us from having a good sales team to a great sales team. So I'm a big believer in saying, keep pushing for those metrics. I hope that helps. Denise, one of my pet peeves, be open for hours posted on your door. Yeah. Oh, Barb, you're going to see me at Baby Lock next week. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'm going to be, I'm actually working on that presentation. I don't speak here today till 3:00. So I'm already looking at what I'm going to do with all of you. My goal is to get you to change. That's probably my number one thing. So Barb, if you think there's one thing you want me to speak about, put it in the chat and let me know, because I have a whole list I'm working on this afternoon. Lori, yes, our policy and practice treat our vendors with the same respect as our customers. I love that, Lori. That's great. That's great. I love that. All right. And we have one more from John. John, I hope you're still there. Bob, how do we deal with exhaustion and get motivated? We have chosen to not participate in the recession and slow times due to pandemics. And while the situation is real, a business chooses to participate or not. And I think that's a great great thing to say as a mindset if you can do it, but that's tough. If one takes control of the business and heads into these situations full steam ahead, they will grow. Absolutely. The downside is if we attack the downtimes, we all wear out. We were very fortunate to be open and essential. The past 18 months have been great for our business. Our employees have been great. Customers appreciate the service. Thank you, Bob and Sales Rex, for the training. You're welcome, John. Thank you for being a customer. We've been fortunate to not only maintain our employees, but continue to recruit and add people. While most owners would be happy with the growth, I'm feeling drained. How does one get motivation? Thanks for all your guidance, Bob. So, John, I think what we're all dealing with is a lack of completion. It feels like we're going down to make the donuts. In some ways, it's like Groundhog Day. If that's true for you, let me know. Groundhog Day, put a GH, that we're kind of doing these things. And yeah, okay, so now some of you have to wear masks and some of you have to deal with the whole thing of people who don't want to and vaccinations and all of that. You got that, but then you got the supply chains and and a lot of the things that we thought, oh, I'm past this, are still out there with it. So I think we have to get the hell out of our minds of this is all the same. I say set a goal, whether that's going to be a small daily or it's going to be a weekly goal, whatever that's going to be. So for me, it's on Thursdays, I get a botanist gin and tonic with Fever Tree tonic. That is my drink. I like that. And if I get my work done, I get to do that. It's a small thing. I know when Glenn Close was starring in Sunset Boulevard on Broadway, and she talked about how skinny she had to be for her costume to look right. Her interview was, she was excited because she told herself that for each performance at the end, she got to have one Oreo cookie, but on matinee days, she got two. I think having a goal, whatever that is really important. I think also putting time in your day to get the hell out of the store. And that means put the damn phone down. That means leave all of it out. I work from home. I go out on my patio and I just have to spend 20 or 30 minutes. I don't care if I fall asleep, if I watch the birds, if I watch a tugboat going up the Hudson, it doesn't matter. I've got to disassociate, or I'm no good to anybody. And put that in your phone if you need to, and do some exercise. I found that I've been exercising 3 times a week. And that makes a big difference. I don't know if you noticed, I lost 25 pounds since last year. I was on the opposite side of the COVID stuff, people putting on 25. And then just get a commitment from yourself that you're going to do things different. So I'm going to be the best part of myself, which would mean I'm going to watch what I'm eating. I'm going to watch my sleep, and I'm going to take care of myself first. The store is not me, right? I'm not going to try to manage everybody else's business until I be the best version of myself. And then simplify your business model. You don't have to be the only one that knows it all. And John, I know you have a great operation, so I'm not necessarily talking to you. I'm talking to all of us, that you don't have to be the only one with the brilliant idea. Yeah, you can do the work of two people, but you can't be two people. And so when you build those processes in, it could be as simple as, one task that you say, damn, I hate this task. Then assign that to somebody, but you assign it and say, well, what does success look like? Now, for a lot of people, that's scheduling. And we like to just throw scheduling off to someone with no training. And you have to say, well, my definition of scheduling, what it looks like to be successful here is that only competent people are working at all times, and that I'm not getting a phone call, or I have to come in and cover a shift, and neither does the manager. So here's how you go through and make sure that that happens. And then you have to not only execute, but you've got to choose. You've got to use your choice muscle to say, John, it is a choice. Because unfortunately, that exhaustion and lack of motivation is real. And so make a choice. I'm going to go away for 3 days. I don't give a damn. I'm going away for 3 days. Tell your wife, your significant other, whatever it's going to be, we're going to go away for 3 days. I don't care if you go to a place in the Berkshires and you're going to go listen to Tanglewood. I don't care if you're going to go, but go somewhere. Do not do it at home. Getting out of your routine, going out and seeing the malls are packed right now. I don't like going to malls. Well, go anywhere, but change what you're putting in your head, because part of the lack of motivation and part of exhaustion is same thing, same day. It's like you're all intelligent people. I don't remember my Greek myths too much, but the guy who had to roll the stone up the heavy mountain, he's in hell or whatever, and then every day it rolled back down, and that was his life. That's what it can feel like for a lot of us, because make no mistake, we are all going through all of this stress of what the hell's going on. I thought by now life would be easier. I'm 60. I thought by now I'm playing croquet on a yacht somewhere in the Mediterranean, that life would just be, and we'd be flying around in cars, right? And it's just not that. So instead of looking backward and saying, oh, it was so much that, no. But the things that make us hopeful are what draws us into the future. And so if you're trying to motivate yourself, you're drawing into the future and saying, that's what I'm looking forward to. So whatever that's going to be, if it's going to be that botanist gin and tonic on Thursday night, I'm good. If it's going to be that you're going to do X with your family, great. But make no mistake, this isn't doing the same thing every day, and particularly in your own business. If that helps, I hope that adds something for you, because all I can do is be honest, right? My goal, I found that my brand took off when I took off the hat of what I thought I should be and just say whatever it's going to be. It's like I'm agonizing on this email I'm sending out about Sales RX this week, and I was going to put dumbass into it. It's like, can I say that? It's like, oh, for God's sake. But that other person, like, oh, I should be, and those little moments where we keep stopping everything, I think just takes away our power. And so I want you to think, John, you've got this. You've got a successful business. Take what I've said. This is a recording, so you could go through. If you have to, you can go through and record it on your phone and play it back to yourself when you get to it. But remember, we're about as happy as we make our minds up to be. But it's a constant struggle, isn't it? We have to look at ourselves as an actor. And would I allow somebody to say the things I say to myself day in and day out about either how miserable, tired, stupid, whatever? It usually starts with stopping that garbage and then setting a direction in the future and taking action. So I hope that helps, John. If you find value, good man. I hope if this has a value for you, you'll tell your friends. I hope that you will enjoy the show, because I'm speaking more and more. We have some exciting things coming up. And let me be crystal clear. If you are still on the fence, should I go through and sign up for Sales RX? What the hell are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting until I had to listen to friends in low places look up and see Garth at a cap and go, oops, things are going to be different. Toy retailers, you remember when Beanie Babies suddenly were hot and then they weren't? There's a lot of businesses that you've been putting all these orders in and they're going to come in. How are you going to sell it? How are you going to have an exceptional customer experience if you don't change? Because that's all we're learning. It's all about change. It's all about having fun with it. And yeah, you can go on the live stream video and hold up, like little QVC. I got this, it's $20, put in the thing and we'll sell it. Go to Shopify and buy our 20. Yeah, you could spend your time with that, but that's not how retail really works. The money in retail is in a brick and mortar store where people come in, they've raised their hand. They raised their hand when they were at home and said, I'm going to go to a store today. And they got in their car with a mask or without and decided, I'm going to roll the dice and hope to God someone's going to be nice to me when I go in the store. And when they go in the store and you say, can I help you find something? And they say no, and you leave them alone, and you say nothing to them, or worse, you follow them around like Count Dracula, looking around, or Mr. Burns, oh, what are they going to buy? And wait for them to walk up to you. That doesn't work anymore. We are in the middle of the great human reconnection. What got you here is not going to get you there for an amazing holiday. We are going to still have, I don't care what the pundits say, we are going to have a once in a generation holiday season. And when you are here watching me in January and you have been part of Sales RX, and you can say, thank you, past self, for having made that commitment. But if you didn't, and you're watching that in January and you say, yeah, I had that opportunity and I consciously chose not to. There's only one way forward, and that's for you to commit and you to decide you are worth it. You are worth it. And the change, the path on the other side of change is really always better. I mean, I think about machine retailers. What was it, March 10th? We're going to lock everything down. Oh my gosh, our business is going to falter. A week later, CDC says, you got to wear a mask. And suddenly demand is up 50%, right? Change was good for you. But I'm saying all of that tailwind you're all enjoying, we're all enjoying, it's actually catching up to me now as you've all been reopening. So my business is coming back, speaking business. All that tailwind is eventually going to start wearing out, and you have to be able to do the job, which is being brilliant on the basics. And if you want help with that, well, I'm the guy to do it. And I will probably come back a few more times because our kickoff is in 10 days. I'll be coming live several times to talk about other things that get you going. But I appreciate you spending the time with me because really it's all about human connection. We're all just sitting around the campfire, telling our stories, hoping somebody will listen. And I appreciate you listening to me today. I've gone, my goodness, a whole 32 minutes. And I'll go through and have some other videos out here for you as well. If you want to check out Sales RX, it's simply salesrx.com. I'll see you soon. Have a great Sunday.